All right, the next presenter is a professor of mathematics education, School of Education, University of Delaware. Okay. What would you be doing if you were not a math educator? This is amazing. I like to write nonfiction. So when I was in high school, my career goal was at first to be a journalist. So now I channel that writing energy into conducting research in mathematics education. So professionally, my alternate choice would be to become an investigative reporter. That is amazing. NCTM, give it up for Mandy, Jansen, Mandy, let's go.
Hi. A fun fact about me is that if I sit next to you on the airplane, I will talk to you. I am one of those people, I just like hearing people's stories. And I know when you see headphones on someone, that's the universal sign of don't talk to me, but I don't listen to it. So recently I was on the airplane, and of course, the seatmate asks, "What do you do for a living?" I'm a math educator, so I get this question. What do you think about Common Core math? So I decide not to get defensive and recognize that my seatmate probably had a reason for asking that question. I decided to get curious. And it turned out that they have a child in elementary school, and they wanted to learn how to help their child with their homework. Relatable. Okay. So we're on a plane, beverage service. We know what napkins are for. They're for doing math. Everyone knows that napkins are for math. So I get out a subtraction problem. I said, let's work this one out. Solve this in a way that makes sense to you. So what do we get? Standard algorithm, right. So I asked my seatmate, what does this mean to you? Can you talk about what makes sense to you? We initially were wondering, but then my seatmate shared that one eventually called it a 10. Love that. So then I said, okay, let's look at a number line. We can think of subtraction as distance, how many units to get from 49 to 82. And we can go 3 sets of 10, and we can get to 79, and then 3 more ones to get to 82. That's where the 33 comes from. Oh, that's why I see number lines on my kids' homework? Yeah. So it was a beautiful moment because I had the opportunity to understand where my seatmate was coming from and what they were stressed about, and they were actually open to hearing more about math. So we ended up with a napkin full of math on it. But I have a confession. There are these number routines called how many, or quick images, or contemplate, then calculate. I used to not know what these were for. I mean, I can count. What are we even doing? So then I started to look into why we were having people do these kinds of tasks. And I teach future teachers, future elementary and middle school teachers, and I gave this task to my students. And one of my students, she said, oh, I see a set of 4, and then a set of 8, and a set of 12, and a set of 16, and I can combine those all together. And I can see 40, and I'm working on my annotation skills. And then another student said, wait, I think I saw that the same way, but is it the same or is it different? And so she talked about, instead of chunking it horizontally, you can see she chunked it vertically. And she said, here's 4, here's 8, here's 12, here's 16. Is this the same solution or is it different? So we talked a bit about that. What's the same? What's different? Does orientation count as something different? But they also felt kind of this bond with one another. You saw it the same way I did. But another one of my students said, I didn't see it this way at all. She said, I took that bottom portion and then she moved it up. You'll see that in a moment. She said, I'm going to take that section and I'm actually going to rebuild the shape, because she said it was more helpful for her to see this as a rectangular prism. And when you move it back up in your mind, you can see it as a 2x5 with 4 layers deep. We saw the 40 more easily when you see it as 4 sets of 10. And I thought that was brilliant. She really helped us see the image completely differently. So now I think about these kinds of problems very differently. Why do we teach these how many tasks? Why do we teach math at all? to try to see the world through someone else's eyes. Yeah, math is a case and a context where we can try on someone else's point of view. If we change the way we look at things, the very thing we look at can change. You can share your perspective, someone else can share their perspective, and then when you try to understand one another, you feel that new connection. You feel that bond as you've tried to understand each other, and then maybe together, you can develop a third way that neither of you thought of before by trying to understand each other. So I used to think we would revise our thinking to learn more math, but now I think we revise our thinking to have better relationships with one another. Thanks.
Mandy, give it up for Mandy.
Thank you.